Last year, the world population grew just below 1%. That doesn't sound like much, but a 1% increase in world population is around an extra 80 million people compared to the year before. Each one of these people has a carbon footprint they're leaving behind, but what should be done about this? Global warming is becoming a larger issue every day, and there are many solutions as to what can be done about it. Some of the most common solutions to climate change revolve around renewable energy, reducing waste, and reducing carbon emissions. A recent solution that has begun to gain traction is the idea of population limitation for the sake of global warming. Your first thought might be, that makes sense because people leave carbon footprints. More people means more land required for farming, more energy needed for daily use, more carbon emissions, right? Well, that's all true. It's a lot more complicated than that. I'm Aiden Messersmith, a citizen of the world who cares about our planet. After looking into the science, moral implications, and ethical considerations, I believe that limiting the population for the sake of global warming should not be considered. To begin, let's look at the demographic transition model, better known as the DTM. The DTM is a five-stage process describing population growth in a country. Stages 1 to 3 are when a country is emerging, stage 4 is when a country is developed, and stage 5 is after a country has been developed for some time. Population is stable in stages 1 and 4, growing in stages 2 and 3, and declining in stage 5. The changes in population are all based on birth and death rates during the different stages of a country's development. But how does the DTM relate to global warming? As it turns out, many of the countries experiencing population growth currently have not yet developed. Many of the top countries of population growth are located in sub-Saharan Africa or South America and are in late stage 2 or early stage 3 of the DTM. The United States and other developed countries are in stage 4 of the DTM and may have slight population increases but remain relatively stable. There are between 5 to 10 countries that are in stage 5 of the DTM, but the population is shrinking in very minimal amounts. You may be realizing that the issue here is a lot larger than just should the population be limited. There are many ethical concerns in play, such as women's rights, concerns regarding equity, and the question of what policy would actually work. The policy would have to target predominantly communities of color because countries with predominantly people of color are the ones with the highest birth rates currently. Since these countries are still developing, it would not only be targeting communities of color, but also groups of people with lower socioeconomic status. Another concern is how much would this policy actually do for the amount of ethical lines it has to cross? People in America produce almost 15 cubic tons of carbon emissions annually, while people in sub-Saharan Africa produce approximately zero point 0.8 cubic tons. Does it make sense to target groups of people producing less than 1/15th of the carbon emissions as someone from another country? As I'm sure you're beginning to see, there are a lot of ethical concerns regarding limiting human population for the sake of global warming. Not only are there major ethical concerns, but the benefit that will be received for the amount of ethical lines that would have to be crossed does not appear to be worth the trade-off. There are many other solutions to global warming that are more ethical and impactful for the future. As the idea of population limitation for the sake of global warming begins to rise, it is important that we, as citizens of the world, fight against population control. Thank you.